All right, hey guys. So before I jump into the week four recap, I want to say that I will be ending my War League season a little bit short. I didn't really express this in the week three recap video because I didn't want to spoil anything. But if you watch that video, you'll know that there was a bit of a mishap and some craziness during week three where I originally won the match 2-0, but then after the replay was reviewed, the score was reversed to 0-2, and then there was some back and forth, and they switched to 1-1 with a game loss in week four, and it was just really this whole big headache and big mishap. And I didn't really like how it was handled, and it kind of caused me a little bit more stress than I think playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Online should. Um, if you guys have been keeping up with my War League videos, you will have known that in weeks one and two I did lose, and I was kind of getting a little down about that and beating myself up over it. Not really beating myself up over it, that's an exaggeration, but I was getting a little bit down, losing 2 weeks in a row. And week three, I decided to take things a little bit more seriously. Got in a few practice matches before playing the game and made sure that I was, awake and whatnot. And I was pretty excited when I finally broke my losing streak and won. And then, I go to sleep, and then the next day, when I wake up, the first thing I see is a Discord message saying that instead of winning 2-0, I actually lost the match 0-2. So I was, pretty bummed about that, and got a little down about that. And then I was like, okay, but maybe I'll come back next week stronger. And then they went back and forth, and then it turns out that like the score is now 1-1 for week three, and I have to play, a tiebreaker, but my opponent gets the side and they're going first. And then in week four, I start off with a game loss, and we go right into siding. And I'm like, okay, not only is week three, you know, um, not only was my week three kind of like messed up, and it's going to be an uphill battle to win that game three because I get to side and go first, right? It also carries over into my week four. Now I have to start the next week, with the game loss, and I'm like, I would rather just start week four with a clean slate, right? So all this to say that, it was a little bit more of a headache than I would have liked, and I think I'm going to take a little step back from War League. It was just too intense for me, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I ever really explained this, but I joined War League very last minute. What happened was Team Ultra Instinct had a vacancy that they needed to fill, and they basically asked me if I wanted to step in last minute, to which I said, sure, why not? It doesn't seem like a big deal, just playing one game a week or one match a week. But after going through a little bit, I'm like, wow, some of these people really take War League pretty seriously, and it's causing me a little bit more angina than I would like for playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So this will be my last War League recap video for week four. Maybe if the team really needs me to sub in, one week, maybe I'll sub in that week. So we'll see. But thanks for watching the video so far, and appreciate the people who are supporting me in the week three recap video. But this is week four. Like I said, I'm starting the week off with a game loss, so we go directly into siding. Except I believe I'm going first, which is interesting, and I'll take it. But let's go right into the replay. So, one more thing. I had already decided by the end of week three that I was going to be taking a step back from War League. But what happened was the team asked me to play the week four match because it would look kind of bad if I dipped before week four and kind of avoided and circumvented the game loss penalty, because apparently they can't transfer that game loss. Well, it wouldn't be fair if they transferred that game loss to another player on the team, and it would look kind of like sketchy, I guess, if I dipped, circumventing the game loss for my team. So I decided, yeah, sure, I'll play the last week. I'll just play it out. But like I said, I'm starting off with game loss, and I'm not really expecting to win, to be honest, because Reason and Gate, has the biggest advantage going first before the opponent can side, and it's highly likely that my opponent knows I'm going to be playing Reason and Gate since I've been playing it the last 2 weeks. And my alternative is to switch to a deck that I'm less comfortable with, So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation, pick your poison kind of thing. Either I play a new deck that I'm less comfortable with, or I stay on Reasoning Gate and my opponent can side accordingly, right? So I'm really not expecting too much from this match, but let's get into it. Okay, so what happens is I admit defeat for game one so that I can choose to go first game two. Um, I saw that he was playing some sort of chaos deck that was running traps. I saw Solemn Judgments in some of his replays, so I thought that Royal Decree sided in could be a good choice since this deck struggles a lot against Solemn Judgment. So he has Sakuretsu in the opening hand. I don't know if he mains this or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had this in the sideboard and decided to put it in because he knows I'm playing Reasoning Gate. But I start with a pretty decent hand, Scapegoat and Decree. It's always really tricky when you open this because you want to set them both, but it's like a Heavy Storm magnet. Like if you set both of these, it almost well, yeah. Thinking back on it, like 9 times out of 10, when I set Scapegoat and Decree first turn, it gets heavied right away. It's like the biggest heavy magnet. But it's fine because you're still going 1-1 because you can chain the Scapegoat. But it would be really nice if the Decree actually survived for once, but it never does. But at least it baits out his Heavy Storm right away. But you can see right here, if he didn't have Heavy, he's probably going to set 3 back row during his turn, and I would have been able to Decree stopping Judgment and Sakuretsu, which would have been really nice for me. But it is what it is. I decided to go with this True Nade right away because I see 2 back row. I'm like, okay, I feel like he's baiting me with a Torrential. So I don't really want to use this Monster Gate or Reasoning before clearing the back row. And I'm guaranteed to get a monster on the field. It might be... oh, actually, no. I took out Sinister Serpent. I decided to side out Sinister Serpent. I thought he was playing some sort of Chaos Turbo deck. And having Serpent in the deck kind of just slows you down too much, I think, against Turbo. So I decided to take that out and just increase my chances of pulling off my combo ASAP. So I'm guaranteed to hit a monster here with Monster Gate. So clearing the back row with True Nade first. I Reasoning first. This is interesting. I could choose between Monster Gate or Reasoning. It really depends on what he's going to call. Usually people start with 4 if they see nothing in your graveyard. So I'm like, okay, maybe he'll call 4, get it right, and then I'll be a little bit closer to being able to get Demock out with Monster Gate. But he calls 8 right away, which is interesting. Probably because I've Pot of Greeted. But yeah, so this is nice. I got Jinzo and Crane on the line. Probably the best outcome I could have asked for. And he interestingly didn't set his Scapegoat first turn. I'm not really sure why he didn't do that, but he would have been able to met on his turn if he had done that. And now he's 1 turn back because he has to set the traps again. He hits Duo. I discard Reasoning because my field is locked. I discard Vortex because I need a card to pitch with that, so I don't really want to pitch anything else in my hand. And I have the combo set up if he manages to clear this board. So right now I'm chilling. He's got his traps locked, but luckily he has Scapegoat. He would have lost if he didn't have the Scapegoat, right? So I clear 2 tokens. I think he makes a... Okay. Alright. He takes my Jinzo off the field, so traps are back online. And I'm kind of just chilling right here. He can only attack once per turn. Okay, so yeah, he sided in Brazil. So he sided heavy. This looks like someone... Yeah, it's pretty common to have Berserk Gorillas and Sakuretsus in the side when you're playing Chaos or Chaos Turbo for the aggro matchups. So he put in, I'm pretty sure he put in Sakuretsu and Berserk Gorilla for this deck. Luckily he didn't start with Berserk Gorilla, but yeah, you can tell he sided. I mean, he obviously sided, but pretty sure those are the cards that he sided. And I think I can stall 1 more turn. I have another Scapegoat. I do run the risk of him being able to say like tribute this for, I don't know, Zaborg or something and pop this and maybe OTK me next turn, but I've got a lot of life. I've got another Scapegoat, and at the moment he can only attack with 1 card per turn. He hasn't activated any back row, so I'm not really too afraid, except for this maybe new one right here. But I think I'm chilling, and I think I can stall for one more turn. Um, because if I don't, if I try to make a push right now, I could Monster Gate this away, but say if I just hit a Crane or hit something, I can't get rid of this Thousand Eyes, and it's not gonna help me. It's not gonna help me move forward. So I decided to stall it for one more turn. Okay, so he Wing Blasts the Scapegoat, man. I'm like, okay, it's fine. He still can't attack me directly. He activates a Swords, so he's got a pretty nice field right here. Um, I'm pretty sure that he has a Solemn because I don't think you would, you know, commit to this much back row if you didn't have a Solemn. So I know I have to play through a Solemn. Here, I learned from my mistakes, and I just play Scapegoat directly from my hand. Um, he can Solemn this, which maybe he should have done that. Or sorry, does he do that? I have to I'll have to watch. But my point is I activate this directly from my hand because I'm not planning on summoning this turn, and I don't want it to get bounced back again with another Wing Blast. So I preemptively activate it. He doesn't Solemn it, which I think is a misplay. Yeah, I think that is a misplay. Um, because if he Solemns it, then I literally can't do anything. I don't have Light or Dark in the graveyard, so he should know that. And he could just attack me directly for 24 and put me on a 2-turn clock, or really a 1-turn clock after he attacks. So I think that's a misplay. But now I have, well, I guess it wouldn't have made a difference. I would have still have, oh, it would make a difference. I'm sorry, guys, I'm tripping. I was looking at his life. He wouldn't he wouldn't put me on a 2-turn clock or 1-turn clock. I still have 82 life, but I still think it was probably the right move to Solemn the Scapegoats, because I could have Meta or Monster Gate in my hand, which I think you should be reading that I do since I haven't been doing anything in a few turns. But sorry about that. Not a 2-turn clock. What am I talking about? But now I have a choice. I'm thinking about this. This is a very juicy back row for Heavy Storm. I know he has a Solemn, so I have to be able to play through one Solemn. I think my plan here is to let's try to predict what I do. I don't remember if I activate Heavy Storm or Monster Gate first. Maybe I activate Monster Gate to try to bait out the Solemn and then Heavy, because I want the Jinzo to be in the graveyard for Chaos Orc, but let's see what I do. Yeah, so I do use a Monster Gate trying to bait out a Solemn. He doesn't do anything, so I'm like sick. So Demok comes on the field. I have to get this Swords off the field. I want this Jinzo either in my hand or in the graveyard, and I have to play through a Solemn. So at this point, I'm like, shoot, maybe I should have used a Heavy Storm first to bait out the Solemn, and then I could have just gotten back Heavy Storm again with Demok, use it again. Jinzo's in the graveyard, summon, Chaos Orc, whatever, tribute the Demok for Air Knight, bring them back with Infusion. But I'm like, okay, that's not an option now. So, oh, and I also have to get rid of this Thousand Eyes. So I'm like, I think I'm gonna get Heavy. I think I'm gonna get Trunade back, and play through his Solemn that way. Yeah. So I get Trunade back. Which do I go for first? I go for Heavy Storm first. And why am I doing this? He definitely has to Solemn this. If I activated Trunade, he probably would have Solemned that too. He probably would have Solemned that too. And then I could activate Heavy afterwards. And then Jinzo would have been in the graveyard, but let's see what happens here. So he Solemns that. I Trunade. I get the Jinzo back to my hand. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why I did this, man. I should probably switch the order. Maybe Trunade first, he Solemns, then a Heavy, then Jinzo's in the graveyard. And then I could, banish it for Sork. Although my field is kind of full anyway. But I thought I had game either way. I do misplay right here, or miscalculated. I did it in that order because I'm like, I think I have game either way. I can Lightning Vortex to get this Thousand Eyes off the field, and then use piercing damage because he'll use Solemn to get his life down to 15, and then piercing damage on this token will be 19 and will be game. But I kind of forgot that Lightning Vortex would also kill this token, and so it kills the tokens, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I misplayed. I I misplayed, right? Because now I have to attack one of these face down cards with Air Knight, and I'm like, what if one of them is a Gravekeeper Spy? It turns out that one is a Moth, which is 400 defense, which means that this is going to be exactly 1500 damage, and the other one is a Sangan, which is 600 defense, which means this would be 1300 damage. So it puts him pretty close to dying, but it is a 50-50 situation. I'm like, oh shoot, I messed up. But I decide to attack the newer set, sorry, the older set, which I believe is the Magician of Faith, um, just because I'm like, okay, I think he has, a higher likelihood to set a useful card alongside Thousand Eyes, and then subsequently set a less useful card. Um, if it were me, I would just set the more useful card first, and then, as Thousand Eyes is still on the field, then I would set the less useful card second. So that was my logic there. I don't know if it was correct or not, but I do take a gamble and attack the one on the left. Ends up being Magician of Faith, and I get the game. So that was lucky, but it's pretty cool that I was able to play through the Solemn, the Swords, and the Thousand Eyes right there. Okay, so he's going first now. He's going first now. I start off with a Reasoning, get a Crane. It's pretty nice. He called 8 first. Okay, nice for me. So I mind control this before Pot of Greeting. I just want to see what it is, see if it changes my line of play at all. It ends up being a Night Assailant. I was hoping that it was a Decoyji or something. It's unfortunate. But, okay. I draw into a couple good things. I summon Jinzo before flipping this, just in case he has Torrential Tribute or something. I don't know. Or Ring or something. Attributed for Jinzo right away. Flip the Night Assailant up and get in there for 2400. He books a Jinzo. Okay, not bad. Minus for him. I set Scapegoat. It eats a Breaker counter. He does get to attack. I was thinking about setting both, but luckily I didn't because maybe the Mirror Force would be hit by Breaker. And now we're in a decent spot. Ooh, okay. I will admit I've been getting hella lucky with these Demock rips. But that is the nature of this deck. Pot of Greed again feels really nice. Clear both his monsters. He's got a Judgment. Let's see here. So he's got Light and Dark and Graveyard. Okay. Okay, so there's a glitch right now. I'm not sure why this Tribe is not hitting the field and it's just activating from his hand. But the Tribe is supposed to be on the field, and he pitches 2 cards to pop the Goat tokens or the Sheep tokens and the Demock. And he makes a weird play, and I don't know why he did this. I really, truly don't know why he did this. But he tries to attack with the Tribe and crash it into the Crane. I don't know why you would ever do that instead of just pitching your Thunder Dragon and popping the Crane. So I think he's tripping right there. I have no idea why he did that. But I do have a Mirror Force to kill the Tribe. Main phase 2, he banishes the Crane, which is a terrible move. Like, it's just a terrible move. There's no other way around it. Because now it's live for Dim Fusion. First of all, he should have popped the Crane. And if he's not going to do that, I would hold this Chaos Sorcerer, probably, maybe. He could always just attack over the Crane with the Serpent Priest next turn. But okay, he does that. It's fine. Now I drop my own Sork, no priority, because his Sork would come back with Dim Fusion. I got 2 Dim Fusions lined up, so we're chilling right here. And I activate the second Dim Fusion, which is a humongous Dim Fusion for 4. And it's probably going to be game right here. He adds back a couple. I don't have Vortex right here, so I can't clear the field. But my thought process is, okay, banish 1, monster gated away, and then I have 5 cards that can attack. He'll have 3 monsters. I can attack directly with 2 of the cards. You might be wondering, okay, like, why didn't it? I could have also just not done any of this and snatch stealed his Chaos Sork. I decided not to do that. Snatch steal his Chaos Sork and try to attack with both of them. I decided not to do that because I don't really want to leave the Snatch Steal attached to his Chaos Sork. If he top deck an MST or Heavy Storm, he'll get the Chaos Zork back, and maybe he can even OTK me next turn if he. Um, no, he doesn't have a Dark in the Grave. Maybe he could OTK me next turn. I'm not really sure. I thought this was just a better play to get the advantage off the Cranes and the Demon, and get the Jinzo online, and then I still have Snatch for next turn if I need it, and then I also have Chaos Sorcerer live because he's Light and Dark is going to hit the graveyard, and then also I just wanted to be flashy. I just want to do the cool play and use a Dimension Fusion, so that's why I did that. But you might be asking, like, why don't I just Snatch Steal his sword and attack him directly for 46? So I decided to go with this play. It seems a little bit safer to me. Let's see. Hit the Fusilier and then attack over 3 and attack directly with 2 for game. So that was the match. Uphill battle. I won 2 in a row. You know, to be honest, I don't think that he was playing super well here. I don't think he was using his Solemn Judgments super well either. I think Solemn's a really hard card to use, to be honest. You have to know exactly when to use it, and obviously using it at the wrong time or the right time could make or break the game. But I don't think he was using them as effectively as it could have been used. But yeah, that was the match. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, this is going to be my last week of regular War League recaps, but I appreciate those of you who have been watching them so far. But thanks, guys. Peace.